Listen, I saw your arrival here, and there's no need for explanations. I witnessed the weariness in your soul, the exhaustion in your steps, and yet, in the midst of it all, your faith, fragile as it may be, still urged you to keep moving. Know this: you are here not by mere chance, but by divine orchestration, a design that was set long before you even took your first breath. You are exactly where you need to be, at this very moment, because what is coming your way today is not just a symbol or an empty promise. It's a real, transformative miracle. It doesn't depend on human formulas, nor does it rely on your actions or your worth. This miracle has already been released in the spiritual realm and is now crossing boundaries you didn't even know existed, breaking the chains that have bound you for years. When I speak, my words do not return void. This is a change that carries my seal, my signature, my will, an act of grace that is not tied to your perfection. As you hear these words, something deep inside of you, something ancient as your soul, will recognize this truth: it is for you. This is not just a message, it's confirmation of what I've already placed within your heart, even if you don't fully comprehend it yet. This is a bridge between your current struggles, your anxiety, your fear, and those silent tears, and the future you will witness as a testimony of healing and unshakable joy. Stay with me. Do not run from this moment. Do not allow distractions to take you away from the truth you're receiving now. Don't disregard what you're feeling deep inside, because it is I, knocking on the door of your soul with relentless strength and eternal love. Child of mine, don't disconnect. Every second from this moment forward, every word spoken, carries a piece of the answer you've been waiting for. You are not here by accident. Every tear you've shed in secret, every night you believed no one saw your pain, every prayer you thought was unheard, I accounted for. I was there. I saw, I heard, and I responded even when you didn't see it. And now, I'm here to tell you that today is the day I marked for you. Today is the day when the unseen will become visible, when the impossible will bow before my authority. I know you believe you were carrying this burden alone, the kind of pain that can't be seen, the kind that goes beyond what others might understand. That weariness that sleep can't fix, that anxiety you hide behind a smile and silence. But I have seen it all. I've been watching every moment, every detail. I know every thought that races through your mind when you lie down at night. I hear those silent conversations you have with yourself, the ones you keep hidden in the darkness, the prayers you hesitate to utter because you fear they might reveal weakness or a lack of faith. I have heard even those unspoken requests, because I am the God who understands the thoughts, the God who sees the heart, and the God who needs no words to understand your soul. And that's why today, not tomorrow, I speak over your life and declare that the strength within you comes from me, and it was never by chance, it was meant for you. Among countless others, I chose you. I saw you, I touched you, and I set a purpose upon your life. This decision did not depend on the opinions of others or even on your own perception of yourself. It comes from the throne of my eternal being, and no one can reverse what I have established. No voice of opposition can undo what I have signed with my authority. So, stay right here. Do not move from this moment. Do not underestimate this opportunity. Do not disregard this calling, for this may be the final chance to witness the miracle I have already set in motion for you. This is not just about feelings, it is about your destiny. It is about aligning with my will and opening your heart to the supernatural. What I have in store is not a promise for later. It is a fulfillment for now. If you choose to believe, if you choose to stay, If you choose to open your spirit, you will witness my glory like never before. Pay attention, because these are not mere words from a human, but a direct message from my throne. Before you even entered this world, before your eyes opened to the light, I had already set my gaze upon you. I've been guiding you, even when you were unaware of it. I've been caring for you, even in moments when you felt abandoned. You didn't come here by chance. This wasn't an accident that you heard this message. I crafted it, sealed it with my purpose, and placed it in your path because my love for you is eternal. It never fades, it never stops, and it is not contingent on your perfection. Heaven has shifted. Pay close attention, heaven has moved on your behalf. Today, I am not speaking to simply entertain or inspire you on a surface level. I speak because the appointed time has come. If you truly believe, if you open your heart, even with the last bit of strength you have, if you sincerely open your spirit, you will begin to feel that something is shifting. Healing has arrived, deliverance has been set in motion, and no power on this earth or in hell can stand against what I have released for you. Those illnesses that have stolen your peace, the diagnoses that instilled fear, the words from doctors that seem like unchangeable verdicts, none of that has any authority anymore. I am the Alpha and the Omega. I am the one who holds the final word. I am the God who overturns reports, who transforms verdicts into testimonies, who turns graves into altars. I am the Lord who transcends the impossible, who laughs at human limitations, because there is no sickness, no condition, no threat that can withstand the might of my word. And today, with the same voice that calmed the stormy sea, with the same voice that parted the Red Sea, with the same voice that raised the dead, I speak to you. It departs. That illness departs, that affliction departs, that feeling of hopelessness departs. They are removed because where my virtue touches, death turns to life. What was once pain becomes a testimony. What was once fear turns into steadfast courage. Where I reside, the enemy has no dominion. Where my spirit moves, darkness must retreat, and today I am moving. I am moving within you. You are not here just to hear comforting words. You are here to witness the work I have already begun. Do not overlook this moment. This is a sacred moment, a pivotal moment in the history of your life, where heaven has touched earth, and you are standing at the center of my will. You are not hearing this by chance. I am the one who brought you here. Every step, every second, every moment of silence, every tear, I orchestrated it all, because today is the day of transformation. Today marks the moment I set you free from everything that has held you captive. Today is the day I break the chains that have bound you for years. Today is the day I take the weight that has been sinking your soul and cast it far away because it no longer belongs to you. The guilt that has relentlessly chased you, the trauma that stole your peace, the anguish that left you breathless, all of it is now giving way to my presence. I have chosen to intervene, and when I act, nothing can stop me. I am the one who brings life to dry bones, who restores what seemed lost forever, who raises up what the enemy thought was destroyed beyond repair. And today, I declare that I am raising something new within you. I am starting a work that no one can erase. And if you choose to walk with me, if you choose to believe, there will be no door too tightly shut, no giant too formidable to defeat, no night I cannot turn into morning. Stay here. Don't leave. Don't close your heart, because this is not just a message. This is your divine moment. You felt the weight pressing down on your chest, that invisible force holding you back when you try to move forward. You fought to stay strong, but there are days when your soul feels ready to give up, when your thoughts drown out the promises you try to hold onto. You wonder if it will ever change, if what you hope for will come to pass before your strength runs out. And even though no one sees it, even though many think you have everything under control, inside you there's a constant battle, a silent cry asking, how much longer? Know this, none of this has escaped my notice. Not a single tear has fallen that I haven't gathered. I know the deepest, most hidden places of your heart, even those areas you've tried to avoid. I know what you've kept buried in fear. I know what you've tried to forget as the years passed. But I, who see beyond the surface, am coming to touch exactly the part of you you thought could never be reached. What you have called ruin, what you've written off as lost, what you believed was dead, I call it raw material for the miracle I have already set in motion. The journeys you've walked, though painful, were never in vain. Even though they left scars and sorrow, they serve as the soil I cultivated to plant something eternal within you. I do not overlook your pain, I transform it. I do not reject your weakness. I use it as a vessel to display my glory. I did not come to condemn your story. I came to rewrite it. Every chapter that follows will bear witness to the truth that you were never alone in the storm. You were being held, guided, and shaped by my unseen hand. What seemed like delays were part of my divine plan. What you perceived as loss was preparation, setting the stage for a greater abundance than you ever imagined. Not everything depends on your strength or control. What I do is not limited by your ability, but by your willingness to surrender. Heaven has moved for you. The kingdom has been activated with a single word from my lips. Angels have been dispatched. The atmosphere is shifting, and what once seemed impossible is beginning to bow before my authority. There is no diagnosis that carries the power I possess. No human report outweighs my eternal decree. The illnesses that have stolen your peace are being dismantled right now. The tests that filled you with fear are being rewritten by my power. The doctor's words that seemed to seal your fate in darkness are being replaced with my voice, a voice that brings light. I have declared it, it departs. And when I speak, all of creation responds. Sickness obeys, darkness flees, and anguish retreats. That affliction you couldn't explain, that constant knot in your throat, that deep emptiness that nothing could fill, it all begins to withdraw because my virtue has touched every part of your being, your body, soul, mind, and spirit. Where I am, what was once death transforms into life. What you thought was condemnation will be remembered as the place where your redemption story began. The vow you believed would be your end will become the altar where you will always recall my faithfulness. Nothing was overlooked. Every moment of struggle, every effort to stand firm, every sigh in the silence was seen by heaven. And it wasn't seen with indifference. It was with deep compassion, with purpose. Because this moment was marked on my calendar long before you were ever born. This moment, this intervention, this breakthrough has already been written in the book that bears your name in my presence. And now, it begins to unfold, not by human effort, not through earthly intervention, but because I am the one orchestrating it. You don't need to understand every detail of what's happening. What you need to know is that I am at work, that I have moved on your behalf, and that what I have decreed cannot be stopped, not by your past, not by your mistakes, not by the voices that have sought to destroy your faith. I have made the decision to bless you. I have chosen to break the chains that have held you captive. I have decided to set you free, and no one can reverse my decision. Healing is flowing, not as an illusion or distant promise, but as a tangible reality that is beginning to manifest right now. What once restrained you no longer holds power. What once seemed like an insurmountable wall is now becoming the very path you walk. What once appeared as a wound will now stand as a testament to my faithfulness. You have not arrived too late. You are not running out of time. You are exactly where I intended for you to be. And the miracle you're waiting for is not a mere possibility. It is a present reality in heaven that is now descending to earth. I see how you've wondered if what you desire is even possible, if it's too big for you, if it's just a fleeting breath in the midst of overwhelming frustration. You've grown accustomed to expecting little, to keeping your hopes low, to not lifting your eyes for fear of seeing nothing on the horizon. But I say to you, you've limited your expectations, not because you are incapable of dreaming, but because the weight of past disappointments has made you hesitant to open your heart fully. However, what I am doing in your life does not depend on your strength to imagine it, nor does it rely on your understanding. I am working in a dimension that does not need explanation, only manifestation. I am not a distant God, not a mere observer from afar. I have leaned toward you with intention, not because you deserve it more than others, but because I chose to show you that you have not been forgotten, that your name still echoes in my presence, and that your cause has not been overlooked. Though you thought your prayers fell unanswered, though you believed silence was my response, you were mistaken. In the silence, I was preparing the perfect moment, aligning things you couldn't see, removing obstacles you would never have recognized, and protecting your soul during the times when it seemed like nothing was happening. I do not measure time the way man does. I do not count the years as you count them. I am not bound by time or the circumstances that shape it. What seemed like delay to you was, in fact, a necessary process in my plan. What is about to emerge from you is not small, it is not fragile, it is not temporary. I am building something eternal, something that will leave a lasting impact, something that will glorify my name and will not be credited to human effort. I am cultivating within you an authority that cannot be found in books, a faith that cannot be gained simply by words, a trust that can only be developed by walking with me through unseen, uncharted paths. There were things you didn't understand when they unfolded, people who left without explanation, doors that closed when you thought they were about to open, paths that shifted suddenly and without warning. You thought it was unfair, that you made a wrong choice, that maybe you failed me. But that was not the case. These were all movements I orchestrated, because there were dangers I shielded you from, wounds I prevented from deepening, betrayals I stopped before they could harm you, and paths that seemed safe but would have led you to destruction. And though it hurt, it was protection. Though you couldn't understand it, it was love. Though you felt confused and abandoned, it was my guidance, hidden beneath what seemed like interruptions. Now, after that time of silence, after you walked through barren places and felt your spirit harden, something new is stirring. Not as you imagined it, but exactly as I designed it from the very beginning, not according to your calculations, but in alignment with my eternal wisdom. And though you cannot yet see the entire picture, you are already standing on the threshold of the supernatural. The ground beneath your feet is shifting, preparing to open to something far greater than you could have ever envisioned. The doors that have remained closed for years are now responding to my command. Opportunities that were never dependent on your connections or efforts are beginning to manifest because of my favor upon your life. I am awakening the voice you silenced out of fear. I am stirring up the gifts you allowed to lie dormant due to insecurity. I am placing in your hands the keys to things you never dared to ask for, not because you have earned them, but because I want to reveal to you the depth of who I am. I did not choose you for a life bound by limitations, constrained by human expectations, but to walk as the living inheritance of my promises. I did not come to offer you mere scraps. I came to prepare a table before you, right in the presence of everything that sought to destroy you. My promises are not vague or distant. I come with fulfillment in hand. I am not working from the outside in. I am moving from your spirit outward to everything around you. I will change your environment because I am already transforming your inner being. Just as the sun rises without permission, so will my work be unleashed in you. You won't be able to hide it. You won't be able to stop it, because this is not a fleeting emotion. It is a lasting, eternal shift. The evidence of my presence in you, with you, and upon you is not because you sought me out with perfection, but because I decided to reveal myself to you in faithfulness. The season is marked by fulfillment, and everything that once seemed beyond restoration, everything that withered in your hands, everything that was buried before it could bloom, I am calling it back to life. I have been watching how you've lived with a soul torn between what you know I have promised and what you see with your natural eyes. A constant struggle between the hope you once held and the harsh reality that has pressed in on you day after day. You've tried to stay strong, and while outwardly it may seem like you're moving forward, inwardly you question if true fulfillment will ever come, if heaven has truly remembered your name. At times, you wonder if all the things you hear about my power, my provision, and my miracles are meant for others but not for you. But I want you to understand something profound today. You are not a possibility in my eyes. You are a promise. You are part of what I have intentionally established, and what I have begun in you will never remain unfinished. I do not abandon what I design. I do not discard what I have created with my own hands. Even in the moments when you thought nothing was happening, I was laying the invisible foundations, establishing eternal pillars that will support everything that is about to be revealed in your life. For I am not building something fragile, easily swept away by the winds of change. What I am constructing will endure, even when seasons shift and the voices around you become disorienting. This is the season when the walls that once seemed impenetrable will begin to crumble, not by your own strength, but by my divine authority. I have sent my word as a command in the spiritual realm, and what once seemed unmovable will now be removed with ease. I am unlocking doors the enemy closed years ago, opening paths that have been blocked for generations, and purifying the atmosphere that was polluted by negative words, by past wounds, and by doubts you buried deep within yet that still influenced your journey. All of this is being transformed from above. And there's more. I am releasing clarity that you had lost. In the midst of so many voices, you struggled to discern mine. Amid countless thoughts, you didn't know which direction to take. But now, I am opening your eyes to see beyond what's natural. I will ensure that your decisions are no longer governed by fear but by divine discernment. I will reveal the path to you with undeniable signs, for I did not come to add confusion, but to bring purpose. I did not come to increase your burdens but to deliver freedom. I am not multiplying the weight you carry. I am lightening the load you were never meant to bear alone. There are areas in your life that have become stagnant, lifeless, and lacking direction, and you have come to accept them as simply part of your reality, things that would never change. But I did not create you for resignation, nor was I ever intended for you to live without vision. I am reviving every shadowed corner, every dream that you hid so deeply that you almost forgot its sound. But I have not forgotten what I planted within you, and the seeds I deposited from the beginning are beginning to stir because my word in you has not lost its power. It has only been waiting for the appointed time to flourish. There is an expansion ahead, not just spiritually, but in tangible, practical ways. I will cause growth in areas where stagnation once held sway. I will multiply in places where there was once lack. I will pour out grace in situations where there was once rejection. I am not bound by your circumstances, and I do not need everything to work in your favor. In fact, when everything seems to be against you is when I will most clearly show you that I am the one who opens doors where there seem to be none. I am also bringing new relationships, connections you never anticipated, people sent by me who will play vital roles in the fulfillment of what is coming. There will be doors opening that defy all logic, but they will have my full backing. These opportunities will not come through manipulation or human effort, but solely through my divine intervention. What I am about to do with you will not remain hidden. It will be visible for all to see, not to exalt you, but to demonstrate what I can do with someone who hath been broken yet never stopped believing. Your journey will become a sign for many, and you won't have to explain a thing. It will be clear that it was I who moved on your behalf. Do not fear the changes I am stirring up. What I am removing now is simply preparation for what I am establishing. Some things will be shaken, others replaced, and there will be decisions that may seem sudden, but each one will have its purpose. I am repositioning your life, aligning your time with my eternity, and accelerating processes that once seemed endlessly delayed. For when my moment arrives, nothing can stand in its way. There will be times when you feel as if you are standing only by sheer inertia, holding on with the last of your strength, just doing everything you can not to fall. Your soul heavy, your heart tense, and your mind weary. And even though you do not voice it, within you, there is a battle that many cannot see, a struggle that begins not in the physical realm but deep within your spirit. Yet, in the midst of all this, I am with you, not as a mere spectator but as your sustainer, the one who has been taking every broken part of you and rebuilding it, often without your awareness. When you felt stuck, it wasn't abandonment. It was an intentional pause, so that when what I have planned for you arrives, you won't be found weak, but prepared. I am making the ground of your life fertile once again. There are seeds you planted in faith that you saw no growth from, causing you to question if you misunderstood my will or planted in vain. But it was not a mistake. What you believed to be lost was never truly lost. There were seeds you buried with tears and silence, thinking they had disappeared. But now I am calling them to life. I am speaking to the soil where your dreams once seemed to die, and that soil is responding. I am breathing life into what appeared forgotten, bringing it back to the surface, not as a mere illusion, but as a living, breathing reality that you will experience. Many around you won't understand what is unfolding. They will try to fit it into their own categories, explain it with their own logic, but they will not succeed. For what I am doing is not based on human structures, but on my sovereign will. My work is not bound by the world's timelines, nor does it rely on human systems. When I choose to move, my power seeks no approval. I do not come to negotiate with your circumstances. I come to rule over them. I do not ask if you are prepared, for I am the one who equips you as I walk alongside you. What once took years I will now accomplish in mere days. What once seemed far off, I am now drawing near. You did not open this message by chance. I, the Lord your God, have already spoken to your heart in secret. I have seen you in the quiet of your nights when your mind refused to rest and your strength seemed to fade. Today, I do not come with a whisper. I come with a clear, firm, unmistakable voice. This message is not a coincidence. It is a divine encounter I have prepared for you with great care. The miracle you have been praying for has already been released. It is not a distant hope or empty words of comfort. It is a living reality descending from my throne into your life at this exact moment. Listen closely, for there is an open window in heaven, a door no man can shut, and it is open for you by my will. This opportunity will not come around again in the same way. It is a moment of heavenly visitation, reserved for you because I know what lies within you. I know how long you've waited and how many tears you've shed in silence. Your faith has touched my heart, and I have responded. The blessing has left heaven and is on its way to you with power, purpose, and direction. But it must not find you distracted or with a hardened heart. Whoever steps through this window in faith will touch what once seemed impossible to reach. Now is not the time to retreat. This is not the moment to ignore what you are feeling. I am speaking, and you know it. You have asked for signs, and I have given them to you, but today I come not with signs, but with a direct word. Do not blink in hesitation. Do not get stuck in doubts. Do not silence what I am stirring in your spirit right now. Some things are revealed only when you stop everything and listen, when you quiet the noise of the world and prepare yourself to hear my voice. For a long time, you believed that my promise was delayed. You wondered if it was ever meant for you, if it had been canceled or postponed. But today, I tell you, what was once held back in the heavens is now being poured out into your life. The enemy tried to make you believe that I had forgotten you, that your cries had gone unheard, but I have never left you. My ear has been attentive to every sigh, and my hand has been at work even when you couldn't see it. The miracle you thought had been lost in time is not only not lost, but it has been perfected by my wisdom. It is advancing toward you with a power that will shatter chains, with a light that will expel every shadow, and with undeniable proof that will silence every voice of doubt. This will not be a small thing. It will not be concealed. Those who have doubted will witness it. Those who have mocked will witness it. And those who thought you would never overcome will see it. Because I am God, and when I speak, all of creation responds. My angels have already received their instructions. Doors are opening. Diagnoses are being changed. The impossible is starting to yield to my will. And nothing can resist my word. Nothing can stay the same when I choose to intervene. And today, my child, I have decided to intervene on your behalf. Do not wait for further signs, for this is my voice, and you know it. You have felt it stirring in your spirit since you began reading. This is not emotion, nor a coincidence. It is my presence surrounding you in this moment, confirming that this is not a fleeting hope, but a divine appointment with the fulfillment of everything you have once sown in tears. You have known those days when your soul felt burdened, when your responsibilities overwhelmed you, when your thoughts darkened like storm clouds, and when weariness seemed to cling to you, making you wonder if you would ever find clarity again. I have been with you through those days. I have held you when you thought you couldn't go any further, and I have seen and counted every one of them. And now, I tell you, the day you've longed for has come. Do not reject it. Do not turn away from it. Do not dismiss it as something that isn't meant for you. This message carries your name, written in my book before you were even born. I love you with an everlasting love, and my will is not to confuse you but to lead you into the fulfillment of what was already said in heaven. This is the time. This is the place. This is the word. Stay alert and keep listening closely. These are not just human words you are hearing. This is my voice speaking directly to your heart, and I repeat to you, you did not arrive at this moment by accident. You are not hearing this by mere chance or out of simple curiosity. I have prepared this very moment long before you were born, and though your eyes may not fully comprehend it yet, your spirit is already feeling the weight of it. This is my personal intervention. I myself am descending into your circumstances, and nothing will remain the same after this divine encounter. Have you become accustomed to praying for others, standing as an intercessor, offering comfort, sharing words of encouragement, all while your own soul silently cried out for answers? Have you ever thought that perhaps your calling was only to support others, that your personal cause wasn't as important, or that your dreams could wait? But I have not forgotten you, not even for a second. Even though the enemy tried to convince you that heaven had turned a deaf ear to you, I tell you with absolute authority, what seemed like silence was strategy, and what appeared as delay was divine preparation. I am intervening personally, not through angels alone. I myself have descended into your situation. I have set my eyes on you with both tenderness and unwavering determination. I have seen your perseverance, your days of obedience when no one was there to applaud, your choices for good when no one understood you. And now I declare, the moment has arrived. Heaven is leaning into your reality. Do not doubt. Do not hesitate. Do not hide behind fear, for what I have released over you is far too magnificent to be limited by human logic. Do not strive to understand it all. Just receive. Just worship. Just lift your heart in gratitude, because the miracle is already on its way, closer than you think. You will know it is from me when you see that no one else can explain how it happened. When doors open with no human hand involved, when reports are reversed without any scientific explanation, when hearts are transformed without reason, then you will say, only God could have done this. Have you ever felt that something bigger is on the horizon, as if something inside you is being propelled forward, even though you don't quite know where it's headed? That restlessness in your spirit, that unexplainable sense of longing, that sudden desire for change and growth, it's not confusion. It is my spirit nudging you out of the place where your faith has begun to grow stagnant. I did not call you to merely survive. I called you to flourish, even after losses, even through disappointments, even when your body feels drained and your mind exhausted. Today, I examine your heart. I see your wounds, your shattered dreams, your accumulated fatigue, and today, I fill you with courage that is not your own, but is born from my spirit. A courage that shatters diagnoses and defies predictions. A courage that rises above painful words and the memories of betrayal. A courage that takes what seemed lifeless and makes it breathe anew. The dreams you once buried in hopelessness, I am now resurrecting with my power. The promises you ceased declaring, I am now reactivating with my faithfulness. The surge of strength you feel right now is no accident. It is my confirmation that your season of silent waiting has come to an end. No longer will you only watch from afar as I work in the lives of others. Now it is your time for my glory to be revealed in you. Now it is time to lift your gaze, to stop shedding tears that serve no purpose, to close the door to fear and open your soul to faith. Look up, witness what I am doing. See how heaven is moving on your behalf. I am the God who never forgets, who is never late, and who does not contradict his word. What I have promised, I will fulfill. What I have said, I will do. And in this sacred moment, I assure you that my hand has already been extended toward you, and no force can prevent what I am about to bring to pass. I have witnessed every moment when your strength wavered, when you thought your faith was about to crumble, when your tears were your only form of communication, yet you still chose to trust me. You may not have spoken much, but within you was a silent cry that ascended to my presence like the purest incense. It was not your voice that moved heaven. It was the posture of your heart in the midst of trials, that quiet resilience of one who, even without seeing an answer, chose to stand firm. That perseverance, which went unnoticed by others, I recorded with eternal ink in my heavenly books. You understand what it means to keep moving through emotional rubble, to walk among promises shattered by others, yet still protect your heart from being consumed by bitterness. Do not believe that I overlooked those moments when you were tempted to give up, but instead chose to continue, even when walking away seemed easier. That inner battle has been the hardest struggle of all, and I was there with you in every single moment of it. You were not weak for crying, you were courageous for pushing forward. Now, I have sent my voice with power because I am removing every obstacle, every shadow, and everything that caused you to doubt my presence with you. You don't need to convince me of the struggles you faced. I was there with you when you felt trapped, when pain became your constant companion, and when your prayers seemed to echo in emptiness. I was there when others were absent, when even your own faith in the dreams you once held began to fade. And now, in response, I am not merely restoring. I am rebuilding from the very foundation, reconstructing with eternal materials what the world attempted to tear down. I have not called you to live a mundane life, nor have I created you to merely be another shadow trailing behind others. The design I placed within you carries a purpose that time cannot diminish and failure cannot erase. I am awakening what has been dormant inside you, not because you have been flawless, but because my grace never expires, even when you stumble. What I promised you has never diminished. It has remained intact, waiting for the right moment, and that moment is now. The difficult seasons were not without purpose. Every hardship, every painful day, was a seed planted in the eternal soil of my plan. And now, it is time for the harvest. Do not try to understand what is happening through human reasoning alone. There are things that can only be grasped when the Spirit aligns with the eternal. This is not just another fleeting moment. This is the intersection of everything you have waited for and everything I have prepared for you. The logic may resist. You will soon see how everything begins to shift without any clear explanation. I do not require ideal conditions to work. I create the situations where my glory shines the brightest. The cycles of pain that once felt endless have reached their end. What once seemed eternal in sadness will now feel brief compared to the joy I am about to pour into your life. I am taking away the garments of grief and replacing them with new colors of hope and life. I am giving you spiritual keys, renewed authority, clear vision, and firm direction. What I am starting is not just a good season. It is a total transformation. Your circumstances will not only change, but the way you see, think, and make decisions will be renewed. You are not being moved by mere coincidence. I am propelling you from within, guiding your every step beyond fear, beyond insecurity, and beyond the wounds you've carried. Even after all you have endured, you have never been without purpose. You have been carefully shaped for this moment. What others have labeled as ruin, I call preparation. What seemed like an ending was merely a new beginning, hidden in mystery. I held you in the shadow, but now I am revealing you in the light. I have been your refuge in secret, and now I am presenting you to the world. What you once struggled to maintain, I will now uphold for you with my power. Weariness will no longer define your existence. Lack will not be your inheritance. Loneliness will not be the chapter you live in permanently. I am your God, and I have never let go of you. What I am doing in this moment is beyond anything you have experienced before. Even your wildest dreams will pale in comparison to what I am bringing into your life. When you look back and try to explain the changes, you will know deep in your heart that it was my hand, my love, and my perfect timing that brought it all to pass, not by your strength or merit, but because I chose to demonstrate my faithfulness to you in a way that will mark your life forever. I have begun something new within you, and it cannot and will not be stopped. What I am doing is not dependent on the circumstances around you, nor conditioned by your past experiences. It is a continual work, sustained solely by my will, not by your resources or abilities. What I have activated in the unseen realms will begin to unfold in the visible world. While it may appear slow at first, know that every step you take will be filled with divine purpose and direction. Nothing I am doing is fragile. What comes from me is not easily shaken by the winds of change nor faded by the opinions of others. I have removed people, paths, and opportunities that did not carry my seal. It wasn't loss, it was protection. It wasn't rejection, it was redirection. When I took away what you deeply desired, it wasn't out of cruelty, but out of love. Not everything that seemed good was part of my perfect plan for you. At times, I had to close doors without offering explanations, because had you walked through them, it would have led you down a path of slow destruction. I have protected you from things that you still don't fully understand, and in time, you will realize that what you thought was abandonment was, in fact, my highest form of care. And now, I am sending divine connections, unexpected provisions, and strategies that come not from human logic, but from heaven's wisdom. People you haven't yet met will become instruments of blessing in your life. Paths you never considered will open to you effortlessly. The resources you once lacked will arrive without you even needing to ask for them. I am reorganizing your circumstances, clearing the paths before you, and aligning the eternal purposes with the present moment. In this new season, you will no longer act out of reaction, but out of revelation. You will no longer be driven by desperation, but by wisdom that comes directly from above. I am cultivating within you a heightened spiritual sensitivity that will enable you to discern what is mine and what is not. You won't need to test everything to determine its rightness. You will feel within your spirit the clear testimony of my presence, and that certainty will bring you peace, even when the path before you looks different from what you expected. The ancient promises I spoke to you in the past, the ones you may have forgotten, will now come to life again. They were never illusions, they were promises. And even though time seemed to silence them, I never canceled them. I will preserve every promise I made to you until I fulfill them all. I do not contradict my word. I do not change my mind. I do not regret what I have planned for you. What I declared over your life is still in effect, and now I am activating it with renewed strength. A maturity has been formed within you through the brokenness you endured. You now understand things you once could not grasp. You know when to wisely remain silent, when to take action at the right time, and when to trust even when everything seems uncertain. That internal transformation was not by chance, it was my work within you. Now that you have been shaped in the secret places, I will position you in the public eye with firm resolve, without the need to seek recognition, ambition, or compete with others. I will establish you as a strong pillar where others can find support not because you pursued it, but because I have chosen it for you. You are entering a season where favor will be evident in your life. You will no longer have to struggle to open doors, for I myself will go ahead of you like a consuming fire, clearing every obstacle in your path. Where you once faced limitations, you will now have access. Where there was constant struggle, you will find peace. Where doubt once held you captive, conviction will rise. What you did not understand will begin to fall into place like pieces of a puzzle. What once felt confusing will transform into clear direction. You will no longer fear the changes ahead, for you will know that every change is a part of my plan. You will not mourn what leaves your life, for everything that remains will be exactly what you need. You will not look back in sorrow, but with gratitude, for everything you've gone through was a part of the story I am now redeeming. I am healing not only the visible wounds, but also the memories that still taste of loss. I am restoring your inner peace, renewing your thoughts, and breathing life into every corner where hope had once faded. This is not merely about simple improvement. It is about complete restoration. I am raising something in your life that you never imagined, something that honors your quiet faith and answers the deepest cry of your soul. From this moment onward, everything that comes will bear my seal, and you will know that I am in every detail, guiding you with care, correcting you with love, and strengthening everything that seemed on the verge of collapse. I am planting a new root within you, a depth that is not swayed by fleeting emotions or temporary results. This root is nourished by my truth and will remain steadfast, unaffected by the winds of daily struggles or the storms that may arise around you. While many search for external signs to believe, I am cultivating within you an unshakable certainty, a trust that requires no explanation, and a peace that stands firm with no conditions. I am teaching you to see through the eyes of the Spirit, not through the lens of exhaustion or urgency. What I am doing is not defined by how quickly it happens, but by how firmly it is established. It is not about the quantity of things you achieve in a short time, but about the eternal fruit that grows from every obedient step you take. I have worked deeply within your innermost being, in the place where no one else can reach, where your oldest fears and most genuine desires reside. Right there, I am restoring you, removing the dust of past pain, and bringing light to areas where confusion once reigned. This is not just a message to motivate you. It is a proclamation from heaven itself. I have declared a new beginning over your life, and nothing can stop what has already begun. For this is not a passing emotion. It is my will revealed. And when my will is revealed, an authority is unleashed that shifts environments, transforms atmospheres, and brings the answers you have longed for where once there was only doubt. I have broken the cycles that only led to frustration, the endless loops that kept bringing your efforts back to square one. What seemed like a never-ending cycle has been halted by my hand. The chains that bound you have fallen, not by your strength, but because I have spoken a word of freedom over your life. The weight that you once carried will begin to lift, not because the circumstances have changed, but because I am changing the way you move through them. You have been shaped by fire, but you have not been consumed. And now that the furnace has accomplished its purpose, I am bringing you out like purified gold, ready to bear the weight of the glory I have prepared for you. This is not human glory, not shallow fame, but my glory, the tangible evidence that I am with you, supporting you, opening doors, and providing strategies you never imagined. You will operate from that place of divine backing, not driven by pressure or fear, but from the conviction that it is I who have positioned you. The ground you are about to walk on will not be easy, but it will be fertile. It will not be free from challenges, but every challenge will be full of purpose. There will be resistance because the enemy always seeks what I give. But do not fear, for what I give you cannot be taken away. My support will be greater than any opposition, and my presence will ensure your victory. You will not walk alone, you will not speak without authority, and you will not face anything without my covering. I am ahead of you, behind you, and all around you. Everything that once seemed blurry will begin to fall into place. What appeared scattered will come together with perfect clarity. The dreams and ideas you have carried in your heart for so long, yet didn't know how to bring into reality, will now begin to align with the right resources, people, and moments. I am the one who organizes your destiny, not by chance, not by human opportunity, but by my divine orchestration. I have been waiting for the right time to align everything, and that time has now come. It will not be like before, when every step forward seemed to be followed by a setback. What you build now will stand firm. It will endure, and it will bear fruit. You will experience peace in the midst of your responsibilities. You will find rest even when the journey becomes intense, because you will not carry it alone. I am placing in your hands tasks with heavenly backing, assignments with eternal significance, and though they may seem large, they will not overwhelm you. When I send you on a path, I also ensure you are equipped to walk it. When I appoint you, I also prepare you. You have been prepared for this moment, even if you didn't realize it at the time. Do not underestimate what is rising before you, and do not despise the small beginnings. Even the faintest sprout that appears timid now will grow into a seed that, in my hands, becomes a mighty tree, one that provides shade, bears fruit, and endures through seasons. For I am not interested in quick, fleeting works, but in eternal ones, and you are an integral part of the story I am writing with my own hand. I have released a season over you where what was hidden will be revealed, and what was sown will begin to bear fruit without interruption. There are treasures I have concealed on purpose, not to withhold them from you, but to protect them until you were ready to receive them, so that they would not be lost in the chaos of urgency or the anxiety of the moment. In my kingdom, all that is truly valuable is found in the depths, and you have been willing to journey with me into those depths, even when it meant sacrificing things on the surface. Now you will see that what once seemed lost was only being kept safe. What was silenced for years will now be proclaimed, not to elevate your name, but to make my name known through your life. I am raising up a testimony that will not be spoken merely with words, but demonstrated with tangible evidence. There will be no need to explain much because the fruit of what I've done in you will speak louder than any argument could. I have placed new measures of grace on your path. Where it once felt difficult to move forward, you will now advance with ease. Where persistence once felt like the only way, now simply declaring my will be enough, for I am bestowing upon you a new level of authority that flows directly from your brokenness. This authority was not birthed through study or human effort, but from the strength you gained by standing firm when everything inside you wanted to quit. And this authority will not be fleeting, for it is marked by the fire of trial and the faithfulness that only comes through endurance. This is not a time to look back or to compare this season with what has passed. There is no pattern to repeat when I am doing something new. Do not try to fit this into your past experiences, for what I am bringing into your life has no precedent in your story. I will lead you down untraveled paths, and though they may seem uncertain at first, each step you take will reveal more of what I am doing. Clarity will not come in stillness, but in movement.